Hello everyone. I know it's been a hot minute, but I'm gonna try to finish out this game. I just graduated, so I have a little bit of time left. To myself now before all this stuff of the summer gets underway. So we're just gonna start now. Okay, I know last time there's some audio issues. Like the audio was a little bit too loud, so we're gonna turn it down a couple notches. Let's see, 20. How's that sound? Maybe a little bit more. Okay. And then the mic volume can go down a little bit. Okay. So we'll just start there. Maybe a little bit up. Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
That's right. I'm the one you're supposed to say. I see no need to follow prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence.
The little princess who was truly beloved by Metis, and who repaid that love with death. All these years, hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackwell. It's kind of sad, How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner, isn't that?
Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect for as a coworker wasn't all that I wanted.
Oh.
Then what did you want from her?
Did you really just go there, Your Honor? Was that like some... Or there's something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' murderer is. You do? Right or no? You asked me about the identity of the Phantom 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom, the person Blackwell's been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting! Where's your lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes? Who was Dr. Sykes? Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results in the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the space had borne no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them? But where could they be?
Let's see, wait, where are they? Oh yeah. Who is to say? Oh. Well, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. Oh, nice. I work to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt. And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. That's all I have left of my mentor. I better hold on to this real tight. Phantom Psych profile added to the court record. Okay. This is important information, so let's look this over. Psychological profile classified, hold on. Okay. Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness nor anger, naturally no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. The Phantom indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world.
Well then, it seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. There's not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand out my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end.
Whatever. Do what you want.
You'll hear no objections from me. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. And now, the defendant of the current trial must plead your silence.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything. Athena, you're more than welcome.
If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict.
Objection!
You?
Uh-oh. What? Apollo? What is the meaning of this? Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us? To be continued. Ooh.
Sus.
December 20th. District Court. Courtroom number 4.
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
It's very simple. There isn't much to explain. The defendant, Miss Athena Sykes, might not be innocent. What are you talking about? The case from 7 years ago has been settled. I'm not talking about the past here. I'm talking about the present case. It's still not clear who killed Clay Tarrant. But, Apollo, why would you... Miss Sykes, please listen quietly to what I have to say. What in the world is Apollo trying to do? Your Honor, please allow me a little of the court's time.
But this is a trial for the case from 7 years ago.
Miss Blackwell, I'd like to ask you a favor of you. Just as you lost someone close to you, I lost someone close to me too. I'm sure you want to know the real truth of what happened as much as I do.
Apollo. Hehe, sure. You know I'm all for the truth. Now let's see you expose the princess's guilt. Judge, I give my permission. Continue with the trial.
Very well. Is that alright with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections. Let's hear Mr. Justice's testimony. I'll have the police's investigation report brought immediately. Why you too, Edgeworth? I really hope it's because you have something up your sleeve.
Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
As you wish. Let's review the case of the murder of Mr. Clay Tarrant. It was made clear in the previous trial that Solomon Starbuck was not his killer. Therefore, the true culprit was someone else. On that day, this culprit waited for the astronauts in boarding lounge 1. When the two men made their escape out of the space museum, the killer attacked Mr. Terran with the same type of knife that was used 7 years ago. See, the connections are just too close, I think. It doesn't make any sense that Athena would be the one to, commit the crime. The murderer then escaped into the space museum. Next, director Yuri Cosmos switched the launch pads. Yeah, that was also done at the... whatever, the spy's request, right? Because that's what Yuri Cosmos said. It's a little suspicious that they would accuse Athena of being said person. Literally the only conclusive evidence we have is the fingerprints of hers on the lighter. But it's odd. After that, the culprit exited the Space Museum and escaped via boarding lounge 2. Therefore, this trial must make clear who Mr. Terran's true killer was. In other words, we must discover who it was that escaped the Space Museum that day.
Thank you, Prosecutor George. That's right. Is your defense ready?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Your Honor. I better rearrange my evidence. Oh yeah, let's see. Relevant evidence swapped into the court record.
Now then, Mr. Justice, your testimony, if you please.
Okay, here we go. Witness testimony. I think this might be the first time we've had Apollo testify. Apollo Justice's accusation. I suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Terran. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself. In addition, she is the only one who could have utilized the launch pad switch to escape. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder. Yikes. Not much information to go on there, so I have to press.
Order! Orderly court! Mr. Justice, you realize you're charging your own co-worker with murder, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor. Because that is the conclusion my investigation has led me to. But, Apollo, why? How could you suspect me too? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I don't get it. Just what did you find out over the past few days to make you think this? Cross-examination. Apologize for his accusation. Let's see. In addition, she's the only one who could have utilized the launch pad switch to escape. Hold it! Isn't it possible that somebody else used that same escape route? I'm afraid not, Mr. Wright. Why not? Recall there is a security camera on boarding lounge 1 aimed at the launch pad door. It's the camera that captured Mr. Terran and Mr. Starbuck. But there's also another security camera in boarding lounge 2. It recorded Mr. Terran's killer, or rather, Miss Sykes, coming out of the Space Museum. A camera in boarding lounge 2? First I've heard of it, but it makes sense. Athena said she had snuck into the Space Museum the night before the incident. And then she was overcome and passed out until around noon the next day. I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge 2. That must have been when the camera captured her. And that's what made Apollo suspect her. And even more, but wait a minute. In that case, it most likely recorded the true culprit as well. Objection. That's a negative on that one too, Mr. Wright. In the footage taken after the incident, Miss Sykes is the only one who appears. What? Why?
Order! Orderly court!
That can't be. If it isn't, it's incredibly incriminating. Wasn't it you who proved in the previous trial that the way the true culprit escaped was via the Space Museum after the pads had been switched? A fact you previously proved turned on its ear, leaving your client high and dry. I must say, that is vintage Phoenix Wright. That is true, that happens quite a lot. Unfortunately to say. That's right, vintage also refers to high quality wine, I guess. Okay, let's go backward a second then. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself. Hold it! That's the lighter that was found in the Space Museum with her fingerprints on it, right? Ugh! But even if it seems decisive, there must be other facts we don't know about yet. If that's so, go ahead and prove it then. Look, honestly, I don't want to believe it's true either, but Miss Sykes was the only one who was in the Space Museum at the time of the murder. But, Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes had absolutely no motive to kill Mr. Tarrant.
Objection!
Objection. 7 years ago, Miss Sykes lived at the Cosmos Space Center. Wouldn't it be strange if she had some kind of connection to him? Enough to kill him, though? Besides, people sometimes kill for motives we can't even imagine. I know you've seen plenty of cases like that in your own career, Mr. Wright. I still can't believe this. How can you actually suspect Athena, Apollo? I suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Tarrant.
Hold it!
Hold it! What first made you suspicious of Miss Sykes? It all started when Miss Sykes and I were investigating the crime scene. When she saw the weapon that killed Mr. Tarrant, my bracelet reacted. She said she'd never seen the knife before. My bracelet told me otherwise. And then every time after that, my bracelet would react when she talked about the case. Poor Apollo must have been beside himself during that investigation. Okay, but that can easily be explained because obviously, of course, she had seen it. She literally stabbed the Phantom with it earlier. We know that now. I didn't know what to do or think. I couldn't even sleep. And she was concealing a lot about that case. It's very traumatic for her. It's understandable why that it would react then. In that condition, I knew I wouldn't be any good in court. So I decided to wear an eye patch so I wouldn't be able to perceive any of her tells. So that's why Apollo was acting so strangely. Okay, I personally think, is it because it would weaken his ability to perceive? Because now he still has one eye open, so it's just one eye or what? I don't know. Or you need two to perceive him. But the reason Miss Sykes unconsciously reacted to the knife that way is because she stabbed her mother's murder with one identical to it 7 years ago.
Objection!
Objection. But that knife was also the murder weapon that was used to kill Clay Tarrant. My bracelet could have also reacted to her because she knew she was his killer too. Ugh. I guess he has a point. Yeah, but we have actual substantiation that she did stab the other guy, so there's more proof towards the way where she'd react to that than where she'd react to, you know, the weapon as it relates to Clay Tarrant's murder. So it's a little sus, and it doesn't make sense to me that he's saying this. Well, I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit because the register is there. That's a little better, I think. Oh, wait, what did he say? But my bracelet wasn't the only reason I became suspicious of her. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes in the charge of murder. Hold it! Believing in your client to the end is a basic principle of good defense. Shouldn't you extend that same principle to your own coworker? You're probably right. Maybe I'm not even fit to be a lawyer. However, I don't care. This case is special to me. Clay was my friend. Clay was my friend, and that's why I just have to know the truth. Apollo suspected his trusted co-worker of killing his friend. To dispel his doubts, he investigated on his own, but that only led to more doubts. Apollo must have been really struggling with this. Well, Apollo may have doubts, but I'll say it again. Athena Sykes isn't the murderer. Then I have only one thing to say. Evidence is everything in court. Well, Mr. Wright, I think you have the concrete proof to knock down my arguments.
The arguments have been very clear, Mr. Justice, and your facts appear to be indisputable.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think of my theory? It looks like not even you can deny it. Miss Sykes is the only one who used the only possible escape route. Under these circumstances, there can be no other suspect but the defendant. I just don't get it. There's too many connections with this case and the one 7 years ago. There's much more motive for the spy to come here when they're about to launch another rocket than for Athena Sykes to have done it. It makes zero sense to me. But hey, we'll get around to proving it. Unless you think there was an alternative escape route. Is that what you think, Mr. Wright?
Is that what you think, Mr. Wright?
Is that what you think, Phoenix? Was there an alternative escape route? Well, there'd have to be, of course. Yes, of course there must have been. Just don't ask me what. You're just bluffing again, aren't you? Me? Bluff? No way! He knows me too well. It's fine, Mr. Wright. Even a bluff would suit me just well, as long as you can clear up this doubt inside me. Wait, so this is what this is all about? I want to believe in Athena, I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her. So that you can really trust me? It seems your junior partner has just showed us what trials are truly all about. I believe you're right. We prosecutors painstakingly question every detail in pursuit of the defendant, while we lawyers believe in and defend our clients at the end.
When both sides go all out against each other, that's when we discover the truth.
Precisely. And when the battle is over, we will understand the true meaning of trust. That is exactly what trials are about, wouldn't you agree? Yes. I couldn't ignore the seed of doubt that was growing inside me. So I decided I need to face it head on. No matter what the truth is that's waiting ahead, I won't be afraid. That's so like Apollo, always uber earnest about things like this. Mr. Justice, I vow to dispel every last bit of doubt in your heart. Good, because I want to believe in Miss Sykes again. You're really hoping there was an alternative route, wasn't there, aren't you, Apollo? But if I use the process of elimination, there really aren't that many possibilities. Director Cosmos was at the southern exit, leaving only the control room and the corridor to the Space Museum. Which door could the culprit have escaped through? Come on, Mr. Wright, where do you think the culprit escaped to? I think it has to be the Space Museum corridor, right? Take that! They really only could have escaped the corridor of the Space Museum. Or no. They really only could have escaped to the corridor to the Space Museum. All they had to do was use the unconscious Mr. Starbuck's prince to get through the door.
Objection!
Objection! It appears that all you're trying to establish is Miss Sykes' guilt. If the culprits used that route, the only exit they would have been into boarding lounge 2. The logical conclusion of your argument is that the killer is none of the defendant. I knew it. That's the only way it could be, huh? Hello, team. Welcome to Sweden. How's it going, Tim? It's been so hectic this last weekend because I had my graduation on Friday, and then Joe met my family, and that was a whole thing, and then I had stuff this weekend, and then we were hanging out earlier this week, and then we're gonna hang out tomorrow, so I really only have time for today. The graduation was good. It was just very long. I was called up to shake hands or whatever, second row, and there were like 6 or 7 rows or something, so I was just sitting there. I was so thirsty. I didn't grab a water bottle or anything. It was a mistake. But yeah, it was good. It was good. And then got some good pictures, and then Joe and I had they take a long time. I almost didn't want to go, honestly, because I didn't get my diploma there or anything. They sent it to my parents' house probably the next month or so. But yeah, I think the more important thing was for me, Joe meeting my family, because my brother and grandma came down to see my older brother Bayless came down, and my grandma came down for the ceremony, so he got to meet my mom, dad, Gray, Bayless, grandma, and he got to meet my yeah, true, it is worth it. It's kind of satisfying conclusion and stuff, so wouldn't miss it, I guess. There's another one that evening, but I didn't go to it. I just went, yeah.
It was good. He was very, very stressed. He had to like he had to drink some fireballs and stuff and then smoke a bit beforehand because he was so anxious. And the first night, because we went, I first introduced him to them last Thursday night, like the night before the ceremony. And he got to meet my Uncle Chris too, who's like a general and is like the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division, which is the one who went stormed the beaches of Normandy. So he's like, because Joe's in the military, so he's like, you have no idea how like important that guy is. It's like you could go on a military base and say you're related to him, and you'd be like a celebrity. I was like, wow, I knew he was important, but yeah, it was really good. The second day, like during the day, we went to the pool at the hotel, and it was really good. He enjoyed it a lot. He started feeling so comfortable. He said that it was like more comfortable than he feels at home with his family. So I think it's a really good sign. And then my family all liked him and stuff. So my mom wanted, my mom can be overwhelming a lot because her mind works really fast, similar to mine. But she like talks a lot about the future stuff, like, oh, this Christmas, the next year and stuff like that. So it can be really stressful. And Joe said that she kind of trains him a little bit, which is fair because that happens to a lot of people. And it's not a strike against my mom or anything, but they were talking and I went over and I was like, oh no, because I wanted to like not necessarily interrupt my mom, but I wanted to come over and like help Joe because I didn't know if she was like dragging him into like a long conversation. My dad realized too, but it turns out she was talking to him about going to a Billy Joel concert and he really wants to go there, so it was good. At least it wasn't like super overwhelming, but let's see. Yeah, that's true. See, that's what I told Joe. I was like, the most important thing for them is that I love you, so it's like they'll be supportive no matter what. I think a good family will. Have you introduced... Yeah, I know, right? They're gonna go this December or something. He's in like maybe a farewell tour or something. Like a lot of them are kind of closing up shop. But have you introduced Maddie or anything to your fam? Vice versa? Probably. You guys have been dating for a while now. Like, how has that gone? Like, have you guys seen each other? And I'll keep responding as I'm going along too. If the culprit escaped in the corridor that leads to the Space Museum, then I guess it's true. The only exit would have been into boarding lounge 2. But Miss Sykes was the only person captured by the boarding lounge 2 security camera. I investigated the crime scene thoroughly. But the only place the culprit could have escaped to was the Space Museum corridor. There weren't any other secret corridors or anything. Yeah, are you a fan of Billy Joel's, Tim? I haven't listened to too much of his music, but I've heard his name, obviously. He's very famous. Yeah, she's not. Ooh, nice. That's really good. Because immediate family is the first thing, obviously, but then having time and being able to meet cousins too is really good too. Yeah, I bet, and I'm assuming you met her fam too. It was nerve-wracking too, as you say, right? Can be long, yeah. Yeah, and he's a big name in rock, right? I think that's his genre. But yeah, no. So how long? When's your guys' anniversary? By the way, like are you coming up on a year now soon? Or have you? I guess have you already hit a year? I thought it was like last summer when you guys started dating or something. So that leaves us with no other conclusion to draw but that Athena Sykes is the culprit. Oh yeah, also I had a dream last night about Valorant. It was like the 4 of us, me, you, Kate, Nick. And there's a 5th person so random, but like she was like our 5th, which is weird considering we have like 7 people on our team. So it's a very weird, and Ryan is a part of our 5 usually. And actually more often than not, Josh is, I'm not even part of the main 5 usually, just because I've been so busy lately. But I mean, I'll be running more lately. Like I'll have time today to play some, maybe to get some practice in before Saturday. But yeah. Isn't close. Yeah, that happens. I mean, you kind of have to make an effort, I think, to maintain relationships with extended family. Ooh, in a month? Hell yeah, dude. Congratulations. Or like coming up on the congratulations, but that's huge. I think a year's the big one. Like, Joe and I always say happy anniversary every month. We don't always do... Well, actually, we kind of try to do something every month, but we had our 6th month last month, and tomorrow's our 7th month, so... but yeah, 6th month is a huge thing. He got me a picture book, like, kind of like a scrapbook kind of thing. Where is it? It's like over here somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. Of our adventure pics so far, so it's very nice. Very cute. Because I had an idea to do that too, but he did it very well. I'll do something like that sometime in the future. What could the answer be? Was there really no other escape route? But, hold on a second. What if... Where did those mysterious leaves we saw in the corridor come from? What if they're a clue to the culprit's real escape route? I think it is possible that the culprit escaped into the Space Museum, but then came out of it using a route other than into Boarding Lounge 2. Oh? Oops. Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched after the bombing, meaning... The Space Museum corridor was moving along the rail at the time. Yeah, it is a very nice GIF. It was really sweet. He's a picture boy, so... And there's a Breaking Bad meme in there. But yeah, I'll have to send you guys some pics of some of the spreads or pages, because they're really cute. I like it a lot. Some of our best pics, for sure. Yeah. I'm planning on getting him... actually, I don't know if he's... in this chat right now. I told him I was streaming. I don't see him, but I'm planning on getting him like a bike or something for one of the anniversaries because his bike is crapola. Which is exactly when an alternative escape route opened up for our culprit. Are you kidding me? Judging by the intense look in your eyes, I take it you're serious. Very well then, Mr. Wright, do tell. Where could the culprit have gone from the museum corridor besides Boarding Lounge 2? Well, to the launch site, probably, because let's see. Because Launchpad 1... or wait. Let's assume... Assuming they're rotating around, they're detached from the main thing, right? So the escape would be launch site, probably, right? Take that! We found something odd while investigating the museum corridor this afternoon. I'll pass on his your greetings if oh, okay, he said have fun, so I don't think he's in the chat. I'll tell him you said hi though. My friend Tim said hi. Indirect messenger moment. Namely, a few dead leaves on the floor. Considering where dead leaves come from, yeah, actually, he might be doing some schoolwork or in a class or something right now. They point us to exactly where the culprit escaped to. Yes, I remember seeing some leaves myself. Do you mean... Yep. While the Space Museum was in motion just beyond the corridor's safety door... Ah. Yeah, he'll be like, I've told him a bit about you guys, a decent bit, so he'll probably ask, he's like, oh, is that Idaho friend or Canada friend? I'll be like, Canada friend. Because he has several groups to know. Was an alternative place that the culprit could use to escape. In other words, the culprit's real escape route was... this is one of the craziest, like, twists in this one or the other. The area outside the Space Center. Yeah, freaking insane! Objection! Do you know how possible that would be? That corridor's level with the 3rd floor. Even if the culprit tried to leap outside of the wall to the outside wall of the Space Center building, they would fall to their death! Objection! Ordinarily, yes. But after the bombing incident, the culprit could make use of a certain item. And what item was it exactly, Mr. Wright? Alright. This is what the culprit used to leap to the outside wall of the main building. Well, what special thing was... Oh, there was an emergency ladder lowered from one of the rooms down to the base level, so if they Okay, if they were able to jump and grab onto the ladder, that's how they could have escaped. That's a little bit of a stretch. We'll try it. Take that! An emergency ladder. There was an emergency ladder in the 4th floor robotics lab, and it was used that day after the explosions to help evacuate people. I thought that was an internal thing going down. Oh, yeah, that's right. But she was from the outside down. Miss Blackwell herself used that ladder to escape down to ground level. Recall what the launch pads were switched after the ladder was lowered. The corridor would have passed by the ladder while the pads were being switched. And that's when the culprit literally sprang into action. Eek. And leapt onto the ladder. What? Who would have imagined?
Order! Oily court! Well, an alternative escape route seems to have merged.
Which means someone of the Miss Sykes could have been the culprit, right? Objection! Making things up on the fly in an attempt to sway the court again, are we, Mr. Wright? Your theory has so many holes that put Swiss cheese to shame. I'll have to tab in for their stream when they do. I'm not sure if I'll be streaming this. Alright then, name one. I have here detailed information about the Space Center. According to this, the distance between the museum corridor and the main building during movement is a full 20 feet. 20 feet. You're pulling my leg, right? That is a bit of a jump, especially from the... But if it's up to the 3rd floor, you jump, you'd have enough distance probably and gravity to carry you down. In addition, the corridor is 3 floors from the ground, or roughly 50 feet. What's more, the culprit would be leaping to a precarious place. An unstable ladder. Human beings feel fear in dangerous situations. It's a basic survival instinct. An ordinary person would certainly hesitate before jumping. Or even freeze in fear, not jump at all. Objection! But the culprit had just murdered someone. They weren't in an ordinary state of mind. Objection! Nevertheless, why would they have taken that kind of risk? They could have waited for the switch to be complete and escaped to boarding lounge 2. Objection! Because there was a security camera in boarding lounge 2. The culprit knew they would be recorded if they left the Space Museum that way. Objection! Okay. Yeah, let me know when you eat, what you eat when you get back, okay, Tim? I'll still be here, so no worries. I'll probably double tap. Oh shoot! I'll probably double tap into their stream while I'm streaming this. Hopefully, it doesn't cut on this jump. But have a good shower, dude. See you in a sec, or a little bit. In that case, the culprit could have hidden in the museum until things settled down, and then blended in with the other people after the museum was opened. That's a good point. But you claim that despite all this, the culprit took a 20-foot death-defying leap, and all in a brief moment, the corridor and ladder passed by each other. That's also a good point. They would have needed a running start while the corridor was moving to make that jump. If their timing was off, or if they couldn't jump far enough, it would have been instant death. What kind of person would attempt something like that? Stop bringing up good points, Edgeworth. This true culprit of yours is nothing but a figment of your imagination. Why do you always have to point out every flaw? Mr. Wright, that does sound pretty insane. The culprit would have to be someone who feels no fear, like a stuntman. But everyone feels fear on some level, right? Wait a minute. Or not. Aha! I've got it this time. I can prove that there is someone who could have used this alternate escape route. Oh, can you now? This proves the possibility of a person who could have used this alternative escape route. The psych report profile. Take that! What's that, Mr. Wright? This is a certain person's very interesting psych profile. The subject doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. In other words, This person doesn't feel happiness, sadness, or fear. Doesn't feel fear? Right. You can't be serious. Without the constraint of fear, he could easily do what an ordinary person wouldn't dare. Just as you or I could do a broad jump on the ground without the slightest fear. This subject could make a 20-foot leap, 50 feet up in the air. He could choose this extreme way of escaping without hesitation. So you're saying that to a person without fear, the alternative route would be quicker and eliminate the chance that they'd be spotted? Not to mention, okay, there's a couple things going on here too. For one, a spy probably would choose this method because it's a risk. It's risky because they need to take risks. It's the most avoidant of detection, which is what they need. And a spy is very physically able, I think, right? I mean, a lot of spies or governments, their tests for spies and, agents is very rigorous. Like, they don't let just anybody become a spy or anything. There's a physical examination and stuff like that, probably mental stuff too, which is why this guy could pass, or this phantom or whatever. Yeah, so that's definitely pretty extreme, Mr. Wright.
But was there such a person at the scene?
Yes. A phantom, that mysterious shadowy figure who keeps popping up.
Oh dear.
Phantom. Again? I knew the Phantom was there behind the scenes of the Space Center bombing, but I wasn't sure if he was connected to the murder of Clay Terran as well. We know this because of Cosmos, remember? Director Cosmos. However, now it's all clear. The Phantom is the one who not only bombed the Space Center, but also killed Mr. Terran.
What?
What?
Orderly court! Order, I say! Mr. Wright, please continue.
There were just too many similarities between this case and the one from 7 years ago. But why, you may ask? It can only be because both incidents were the work of the same Phantom. So then this Phantom is the one who killed Clay? But who is he? This Phantom has been haunting this case, pulling the strings in the background. Who could this unidentified international spy be? Right. This escape route must have been a part of the Phantom's plan from the start, as was tricking Director Cosmos into switching the launch pads. The bomb on the second floor was meant to make the elevators and stairs unstable. That's why he gave advance warning and planted the bombs where he did. Yes, I think you're right. But it doesn't explain this one last thing. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? The robotics lab wasn't the only room with an emergency ladder, but he couldn't have made that leap unless he was certain which one it would be. So you mean the Phantom must be someone who knew that particular ladder was going to be used? That's right.
Who could it be?
Wait a minute. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. Wait a minute. The detective leading the charge would have been... Miss Blackwell lowered the ladder after being told to by the detective leading the Ah! You gotta be kidding me! Did you figure it out right? Do you know what the Phantom is? Yes, I do. Who is it? Who killed Clay? Our mysterious spy, known as the Phantom, is none other than... One sec, gotta use the bathroom real quick, but we're gonna leave the suspense here for just a moment.
Whoops, I forgot to unmute my mic. I'm back now. So let's see. Okay. Our mystery spy, known as the Phantom, is none other than... Well, since we just learned that the Phantom has to be someone who... It has to be the main spy. Then it has to be this guy, Bobby Fulbright, which is kind of scary or crazy because he's been around the whole game. Oh, whoops, sorry. I was gonna say that. After the explosions, a member of the staff crossed paths with a certain detective. I was on duty on the 4th floor. It is quite the madhouse, I tell you. As for the detective who was leading the evacuation from the 4th floor, he had a very specific objective in mind. So I lowered my emergency ladder, and like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. His objective was to secure his own escape route. We lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too, and headed to the shelter. This is a detective you all know. He's even the lead detective on the current case. He appears to be a very emotional man, but his psych profile says he is without emotion.
Take that!
Take that! There we go. What? Are you saying... You mean the Phantom is...
Detective Bobby Fulbright?
Exactly. We were all taken in by his fake persona. Detective Fulbright's real identity is the Phantom. It's getting real now.
Order! Order court! Mr. Wright, how could this be?
That's easy, Your Honor. Detective Fulbright was leading the 4th floor evacuation effort. Our first clue is that he made no attempt to have any other ladder put to use. The ladder in the robotics lab is the only one he ordered to be lowered. The second is that he directed everybody to the basement shelter via this ladder. Verily, it was all a part of his plan to create an escape route. After Detective Fulbright saw to it that the ladder was lowered from the robotics lab, he went to the lounge where he killed Clay Terran and escaped to the Space Museum. The museum started moving slowly, so he waited for the right time and got a running start. And just as the corridor was passing the ladder, he leaped onto it. I don't believe it. That addle-pated detective did all that. Was it really him? I mean, all this time I thought... Sorry, we didn't catch your name. My name? I'm Bobby Fulbright, the heroic detective who defends our good citizens from evil, the champion of justice who comes running whenever you're in need. And my catchphrase? It's in justice we trust. Then, his concern for Simon was also just one big act? I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. That monster killed Clay? He had me completely fooled. Come to think of it, he's the one who brought that bloodstained lighter to court too. The scumbag even made me turn on Athena. Damn it, how the hell did I fall for that? For him to have wormed his way into the police department as well. Your Honor, the defense demands to question Detective Bobby Fulbright.
Yes, I agree that we need to hear from him right away. The court will take a short recess and then Detective Fulbright will take the stand.
Oh. Here we go then. December 20th, 5:13 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. If it wasn't for everything you did, I... Don't thank me yet. We still have an uphill battle to fight. You got it, boss. Apollo. Well, this is awkward. Athena, can you do me a favor? Huh? What is it? Could you... punch me, please? What? Why should I do that? Because I should have believed in you. I let this seed of doubt inside of me get the best of me. I'm really sorry I didn't trust— Ouch! Don't be such a dope. I was really touched by what you did. Huh? Now what are you talking about? I want to believe in Athena, I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really, fully trust her. You took the time and effort to genuinely think about who I am and what I'm made of. After all that, how could I punch a true friend like you, Apollo? So did she just punch him you didn't have any trouble slapping him a second ago. Oh, okay, the slap, right. Thanks, Athena. And thanks for waking me up to reality again. I guess I know who to call if I ever get sleepy in court. It looks like you have some promising young people working under you. Edgeworth. Yeah, I think they're pretty great myself, and they're not afraid to keep me in line. Anyway, I have some very good news. All Blackwell has surrendered and the hostages have been set free. Trucy and all the others? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Blackwell said she had something she really needed to do. So I granted her special permission to do what she must. I wonder what it is. Oh. Miss Blackwell. I didn't come to apologize, if that's what you're thinking. My actions are what allowed the truth of what happened 7 years ago to come to light. I mean, that's true, yeah. But I did come because I had something to say to all of you. Miss Aura. She'd better not be here to complain about something. Miss Blackwell, I want to apologize to you. The fact that you couldn't trust the court system is our fault. Yes, it's true the courts are filled with incompetent idiots. Still, I suppose I could let you handle the rest of this case for me. Oh, Miss Aura, does this mean you're starting to trust the system again? No, of course not. Be quiet, hunk of junk. It's just, I wouldn't mind if you were the ones who took Metis' killer down. Leave it to us, we'll get him. So I guess that means she's starting to trust us, at least. Aura. Simon, I'm so glad both you and the princess were cleared of all suspicion. And it's all thanks to me, my robots. You'd better be grateful. I never imagined you would go to that far. Though you always were extreme. But I don't recall ever requesting your help. As closed as ever, I see. Well, now that you've been released, I guess it's my turn to go live in the slammer. At least you won't be on death row, though. I just hope you're not the prosecutor for my trial. You'd probably give me the death penalty. You know me all too well. I guess love can take on a variety of expressions, including stunted in their case. But I truly was about to be executed tomorrow. Though because of you, it looks like I won't be crossing the sticks just yet. You have my heartfelt thanks, Aura. I'm sorry I caused you so much anguish. Simon. I'm so glad
I'm so very glad to hear you say that.
Aura.
Alright. That's enough of that. Dale, take me to the tent center.
What Miss Blackwell did was inexcusable. But it's clear she did it out of love for her brother.
I still can't wrap my head around Detective Fulbright being the Phantom. I can't believe he killed Clay.
Right, and murdered my mentor, which brought great distress upon little Athena. Chief Prosecutor. Yes? I would ask a favor. Would you allow me to stand at the prosecutor's bench for this trial? I wish to claim the Phantom's head by my own hand.
That was my plan all along.
After all, it's highly unconventional for a man in my position to stand in court. Sir. The formal paperwork has yet to be filed, but you are hereby conditionally released. Please take the prosecutor's bench in your official capacity, and uncover the truth by your own hand. I'm much obliged. Oh? The day to part with these has come at last. Chief Prosecutor, could you? Wow, his wrists look so weird without them on. How long have I waited? Maybe it's the sense of freedom, but even the air seems fresher. The light, brighter. And I will relish slashing that blackguard Fulbright to shreds without mercy. I don't have to be able to read his heart to see how happy he is.
I'm so glad, but I won't cry just yet. After all, we still got a trial to finish.
It's okay to cry, Athena, I promise. Prosecutor Blackwell. Mr. Wright, please avenge Clay's death for me. What are you talking about, Apollo? You're coming to the defense's bench with me.
I am?
Well, I can't expect Athena to assist me now, can I? She's the defendant. That leaves you, Apollo. But are you sure you want me? I took a leave of absence and everything. Well, our office is pretty short-handed, and you're all I've got. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Apollo?
Athena, I can say with all my heart now, I believe in your complete innocence. And now we're going to prove it to the world.
Thank you, Apollo. I know you can do it.
So, you won't be needing that eye patch anymore, right?
Right, because I'm fine now.
Now this is the Apollo I know.
Welcome back, Apollo.
It's almost time for the trial to restart, though it looks like you have things well in hand. Yep. I should head back to the prosecutor's office.
But why?
I want to look into a few things. Namely, the first people on the scene of 7 years ago, the facial data registered by the robot, and Detective Fulbright's background. Sounds great, Ashworth. Thanks. I expect to be repaid with a victory, right? No, excuse me. What are things? The first one says 7 years ago. Facial data registered by the robot. Yeah. Okay, you two all set to go?
You bet I am. Let's do this.
Here we go. This is it. The final battle. The murder of Apollo's friend. The courtroom bombing incident. And the case that ushered in the dark age of the law 7 years ago. Well, that and the forgery thing. Destiny has called us to bring the one responsible for it all to justice today. December 20th, 5:27 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Let us now reconvene.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has never been more ready. You know, this is the first time we've been at the defense bench together since I debuted. Now that you mention it, although back then I thought you were more loud than you were reliable. You've really come a long way since then, Apollo. You've grown a lot. Well, there have been some hiccups, but I guess I've done pretty well. He's still got that ego of his, though.
Prosecutor Blackwood, with the 7-year mistake now resolved, you can finally take your rightful place. Yes, I guess we can keep the chat up for later. But bailiff, please bring in the witness immediately.
Even with his handcuffs on, Prosecutor Blackwell seems to be pretty much the same. 7 years of grumpiness doesn't go away so easily, I guess.
Bobby Fulbright here. I heard I was needed on the stand, so here I am. Detective Fulbright.
1 second.
Do you know why you've been called to give testimony?
Yep, because there's only one reason why I'd be called. And that is because it's time for justice. In justice we trust.
Objection!
Objection! You can't fool us with that act anymore. Your justice is nothing but lies. What? Are you questioning the integrity of my sense of justice? I mean, sure, sometimes I make mistakes, but hey. He's acting exactly the same as always. Tell me about it. He must be feeling awfully confident. Fulbright. You wish to dispel our suspicions, and let's get to your testimony. Alright, fine. You want me to prove my righteousness? I can certainly do that. Witness testimony. The embodiment of justice. Ha ha ha! I'm the very embodiment of justice itself. I won't have you make me into a villain with your far-fetched arguments. And this bit about the escape route is only a theory. You don't have any proof. What we do have is proof that Athena Sykes is the culprit. This lighter with her prints on it.
So you're saying these suspicions against you are completely false? And that the defendant is really the real culprit?
That's right. Mr. Lawyer's escape route is totally circumstantial. He doesn't have any proof that I made a big leap onto a ladder. We don't have proof. You're correct about that. However, you don't have any proof for your claim either. No! I guess you're right. But you can't define justice with evidence. Who can define it anyway? Justice just is.
Objection!
Objection! Don't make me break out a dictionary on you. Ah! Please don't throw the book at me! Tell the fandom didn't just make me set up a stupid pun for him. Let's just try not to lose focus, alright? But my justice is crystal clear. What's not clear are your eyes. Wake up and smell the justice. Silence. Enough of your rubbish, Fulbright.
If you have even an ounce of justice, then you will answer the court's questions and prove it. Prosecutor Blackwell?
Prosecutor Blackwell looks torn. Well, Fulbright was his partner after all.
Prosecutor Blackwell is right. The truth will be revealed in the cross-examination. The suspicions against Detective Fulbright are, at this point, only suspicions. As is my duty, I will judge the claims against the defendant as impartially as I can. Does anyone have any objections?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Now ask away and don't hold back. Well, there don't appear to be any objections. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
There we go. Cross-examination. The embodiment of justice. Oh yeah, I guess every time I bang this desk, it's pushed away ever so slightly more. Okay. Let's see.
And this bit about the escape route is only a theory. You don't have any proof.
Hold it! Then please tell us more about the circumstances surrounding the ladder.
Well, I'd much rather expound on the topic of justice, but oh, alright.
Let's see. What should I ask about? Oh yeah. About the lab. Please tell us anything you remember about the lab.
The lab, huh? Well, it was so messy there was hardly anywhere to step. I guess they were in the middle of building a giant robot.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it looked when we visited this afternoon too.
Okay, I know the drill. You want me to add the statement to my testimony, don't you?
What? No,
Way ahead of you. I'll just add it in.
Okay.
The lab was very messy, so it was actually kind of a poor choice for the evacuation.
Hold it! You aren't fooling anyone. You chose the ladder in that very room on purpose to create your escape route.
That's not true. It's just that when it comes to ladders, I'm very particular. I had a good feeling about that ladder.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Huh? Did I mess up somewhere along the way? About Aura Blackwell. Let's ask about that then. Yeah. Please tell the court what you remember about Miss Blackwell at the time.
She appeared to be really angry that the bombing commotion was disrupting her work. She even threw a robot at me.
Yikes. I hope it wasn't poor Klonko.
This is very important information, isn't it? I'll just switch the statement in.
Why don't you let me decide that? Let's see.
Miss Blackwell was extremely crabby about having her work interrupted. What we do have is proof that Athena Sykes the culprit. This letter with her fingerprints on it.
Hold it! You mean the lighter that was found in the Space Museum, is that right?
The one and only. After Miss Sykes murdered Mr. Terran, she escaped from the Space Museum. That's when she probably dropped the lighter. Then after the launch pads were switched, she ran out of the Space Museum, where her image was caught by the security camera.
With that evidence, I should probably save this fight for another time.
Miss Blackwell was extremely crabby about her work, having her work interrupted.
It looks like he's sticking with Athena as the culprit. Ugh. And it doesn't help that he has the evidence. Let's press him on everything until he cracks.
I won't have you make me into a villain with your far-fetched arguments.
Hold it! My arguments are hardly far-fetched. There's careful reasoning behind my theory.
Yes, well, apparently there's a reasoning behind even a tofu burger.
But what we have against Miss Sykes, though, it's not just reasoning, but solid evidence. And it's called the lighter with Miss Sykes' fingerprints on it in the victim's blood.
Yes, that's true, but wait. Detective Fulbright was the one who brought that evidence to the trial.
If you harbor any suspicions, I suggest you ask Fulbright, right or no?
It sounds so weird when it looks so weird when he does this, and sounds so odd when there's no sound with the little ding ding.
Especially about that lighter.
He's right. But what exactly should I ask about? The position of the prints. Let's try that. Please tell the court about the position of the prints in the lighter.
They're around the same spot on either side as they would be if she were holding it up.
I suppose if it was used to light the room, it would be held that way. Could you please add that statement to your testimony?
The prints were placed just the way they would be if someone were holding it lit.
Let's press on it, I guess.
Hold it!
Yes, Miss Blackwell did mention she saw a lit lighter being held up. Welcome back. Can you hear me, Ben? You might be muted.
Greetings.
Oh, hello.
Yep, meaning the person Miss Blackwell saw was the owner of the fingerprints. It just strengthens the argument against Miss Sykes.
Ugh. This line of questioning is going to get me anywhere except conviction land. Nice one, Phoenix. Should I try asking him something else? Let's see. Yeah, I guess let's try the number of prints. Are you running a public lobby or solo?
Probably just join the pub.
Yeah. So how many prints were found exactly?
3. The thumb, the index finger, and the middle finger of her right hand.
Your Honor, that is an important statement. Could we please have it
swapped into my testimony? You got it.
He beat me to it.
Ha ha ha! Beat investigator testifying, speed is the key.
We have a right hand.
3 prints were on the lighter. The thumb, index, and the middle fingers of her right hand. Objection!
You say the prints were from her right hand, is that correct?
That's right. Very clear prints.
What's that? You ready for this cringer to frickin' go down, bruh? But that just doesn't add up.
Huh? What doesn't add up?
According to Miss Blackwell, who saw the culprit herself, this person held the lighter in their left hand.
Oh?
So here's the dilemma before us. Why are the prints in the lighter from a right hand instead of a left?
You're right. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Your Honor, this lighter can hardly be called incriminating evidence. The witness's claims don't even hold water.
Detective Fulbright, I hope you have a good explanation, please.
I just can't understand it. They're definitely right-hand prints. But then, why are they inconsistent with Miss Blackwell's statement? I've got it.
What have you got, Detective?
The mirror. The witness must have seen a reflection of the culprit in the mirror.
Go on.
Miss Blackwell was looking in through the window of boarding lounge 1, wasn't she?
I believe so. If you mean the little window in the back to the right of the room.
That's right, and across the room on the opposite wall is a large mirror.
I do remember seeing it. So are you saying
Yes, the culprit Miss Blackwell saw must have been a reflection of what that person they mirrored.
That seems unlikely that you'd pay more attention to the reflection than...
Oh, I see. In that case, right and left would appear reversed, wouldn't they?
Now do you see?
That's the logic of pure justice.
Objection! But your argument is only conjecture. You don't have any proof that what Miss Blackwell saw was a reflection.
Silence.
Right, don't know. You'd sooner nick yourself than him like that. Put more muscle into it. Huh?
That's right. Besides, the lighter couldn't have been in the left hand.
And why not?
Miss Blackwell said she saw an Earth emblem on the lighter, didn't she? That emblem was only on one side of the lighter.
You're right. There's no emblem on the other side.
Exactly, as blank and smooth as the judge's fine scalp. If the culprit had held the lighter in their left hand, they would have covered the emblem.
How was opening today, bro? You serving? Uh-oh.
What's more, this is the kind of lighter you flick open with your thumb before lighting. So if the culprit had held it in their left hand with the emblem out and visible, they wouldn't have been able to open it, let alone light it. But if they'd held it in their right hand, they could easily open it and light it. This all means that the culprit was definitely holding the light in their right hand.
No! Come back, my beautiful contradiction. It appears you've planted a flower that bears no fruit.
See how it withers before my flower of justice?
He's tough. He's managed to discredit almost everything I've proven up to this point.
In justice we trust. Now do you see? I'm not this phantom you've been talking about. I mean, are you sure there really is a spy? I bet they're just a figment of your imagination. Oh, it's so sad. So very sad, but I'm afraid Miss Sykes is the culprit.
Hold it!
Hold it! Detective Fulbright, I believe you said that the emblem is only on one side of the lighter. Are you sure about that?
Of course I'm sure. Why don't you take a look for yourself and see? Do you see an Earth emblem on both sides of the lighter?
Uh-oh. I knew it. You're lying, Detective.
Pardon me?
You mean... Yes, my bracelet reacted to this statement of the emblem. He's definitely hiding something big. And I think if we use my talent, we might be able to figure it out.
Justice don't know you to use that cheat of yours again.
It's not cheating, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Very well.
Whether I like it or not, I suppose we should use whatever works right now. Go on, then. We have Prosecutor Blackwell's reluctant blessing, apparently. Okay, Apollo, you're up. Here goes, then. Detective Fulbright, could you repeat that last statement one more time?
What in the world are you up to? Alright, fine. I'll say it as many times as you like. Listen carefully. The Earth emblem is only on the side that you can see when held in the right hand.
Here we go.
The Earth emblem is only on the side that you can see when held in the right hand.
Listen again.
The Earth emblem,
I think the part would be like,
is only on the side
no. Oh, that's kind of weird. It has that sign in it.
that you can see when held
in the right hand. Where's the towel? Let's see. Listen again. The Earth emblem is only on the side that you can see when held in the right hand. Let's look at each hand, I guess, while he's talking, and then... The Earth emblem is only on the side that you can see when held in the right hand. Okay, let's look at the left hand, I suppose, now. The Earth oh, whoa. Gotcha! Detective Fulbright, you might not be aware of it yourself, but whenever you say the phrase, the Earth emblem, your left thumb moves. In fact, it appears as though you're running it along the edge of your holster. Mr. Lawyer, I don't have the foggiest notion what you're talking about. Be that as it may, I know it has something to do with the lighter. Let me examine it. But why? You're not making any sense. You can't just... Silence. Be still and do as you're told, Fulbright. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't mind them having a look-see, should you? What? Not you too, Prosecutor Blackwell.
I'm not sure what it's all about, but if Prosecutor Blackwell insists, it must be something important. I will allow the defense to examine the item.
Good. Now we will learn something new. I hope so. Let's check every inch of this thing. Well, let's check the Earth emblem, I guess, right? Because that's like... So this is the Earth emblem Detective Fulbright was talking about. See anything noteworthy? Huh? Hey, look at this! The emblem's actually some kind of button. Uh-oh. It's a little gun? Also, it's really easy to hit that button, isn't it? Wow, it transformed into something. A handle. A trigger. Is this what I think it is? There's no question, it seems. What you have there is a gun. A what? Gun. So that's it. Your Honor, please recall this morning's trial when Director Cosmos was on the stand. The bolt that hit the oxygen tank was extremely small, maybe a .10 caliber. This little compact gun probably takes bullets of that caliber. It looks like this is the gun that was fired at the scene.
I'm flabbergasted. The lighter was a gun?
So when Detective Fulbright would touch his holster... That's right, whenever he mentioned the Earth emblem, he must have subconsciously thought about the secret behind his lighter. In other words, he knew it was a gun from the very beginning. Yeah. A lighter that transforms into a gun seems like a spy gadget to me. It's not the kind of thing any ordinary person can get their hands on. In fact, I'd say it's strictly in the domain of elite spies. Detective Fulbright, you will explain yourself.
There's nothing for me to explain.
Benny, still there? I think you're muted. You are.
I didn't know the lighter could transform. I mean, it was found in the Space Museum, and then I brought it straight in. I didn't even have time to check it out.
Objection! Whenever you mentioned the Earth emblem, you touched your holster. You subconsciously did that because you knew it was a gun. Accuse me all you want, but where's your proof? Do you have any evidence that I knew the lighter was a gun?
Not exactly.
And whose prints are on it? Miss Sykes' prints. It proves that she's the culprit who fired the gun at the scene.
It appears the detective was right.
Are you guys really trying to prove your client innocent or what? Although it pains me to do this, now that we are where we are, I have to make the following assertions coming from the prosecution's side. The person who fired the gun at Director Cosmos in the lounge after the incident, and the person Ms. Blackwell saw holding the lighter, and the person who murdered Mr. Terran, and the person who bombed the Space Center, are all the defendant, Athena Sykes. The prints on the lighter are decisive proof.
No!
Ha 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 ha! Now do you see? A man on the side of justice couldn't possibly be the culprit. And I think this about sums up Miss Sykes' part in the whole affair.
Okay, but we proved that there's a spy or like a phantom or whatever, you know? So in what world would Athena do this, even though it's so related to the phantom? It makes zero sense.
The evidence certainly does seem to point to the defendant's guilt. Do you have anything to say, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Evidence is everything in court. Therefore, Fulbright's claims stand firm.
But... Calm down, Apollo. He's just saying that because he has to as the prosecutor.
Mr. Lawyer, our job is to pursue criminals in the name of justice. You shouldn't cast suspicion on people based on something as dubious as a habit. In fact, you have a bad habit of showing up in court with an awful case of bedhead.
Objection! Says he made me wear sunglasses at night. If it's proof you want, it's proof you'll get. I'll prove this lighter's not Miss Sykes' but yours. Sounds like you've hit on something, Apollo. It's just, if the prints on the lighter are the basis for accusing Athena, I think we should reconsider the credibility of the evidence itself. You mean, you think this lighter might be forged evidence? Yeah. It was perfectly planted on it, right? So, like... or planted or whatever. That's right, it could all be part of Fulbright's bigger plot. Did he do anything out of the ordinary while I was off on my own? I can definitely think of a few things.
It is indeed. Have a look at this.
What's this? Elijah?
Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge.
Ah yes, I just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift.
If we assume he's been laying a big trap for us all along, there's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? Well, first of all, only the prints of someone holding the lighter are strange, aren't they? Because if she actually did fire that gun, it wouldn't have been like that or whatever. But I guess... You back, bruh?
What?
You back? I would say where the prints are on it. Anything odd about where the prints are? No, I guess if it was fired as a gun, that's about where the prints would be, but... What? But it said it was... There's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? Probably how the prints were left on it. Wait a minute, doesn't Athena... Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, how the prints were left on it. No, I guess I don't see anything strange about how the prints are left on the lighter. Nothing unusual about the angle of the prints or how they are patchy in places, but... Okay, proclamation, we got all this. There's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? I guess the owner of the prints, because Athena wears gloves all the time, so it'd be weird, the owner of the prints. Are they really Athena's fingerprints? They definitely matched her print data. But what about the data itself? Detective Fulbright, you were the one who provided us with the lighter and print data. Isn't that correct?
Yes, what about it? You say Miss Sykes' prints match the print data. But I have to wonder, was the data used official?
Mr. Wright, are you suggesting that the evidence might have been fabricated?
I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's re-examine the prints. Using the official sanctioned print data of the people involved in this case.
What? You dare insult the epitome of justice and integrity? There's no need for such antics.
Silence. Your Honor, I lend my voice to the defense's request. You must allow the test to be rerun.
Very well, bailiff. It appears that the official data is here.
And the results?
It's...
What mission are you working on right now, Ben?
What?
What mission are you working on right now?
Point extraction.
Okay.
It's just as the defense claims. This proves the prints of the item do not belong to the defendant.
Yes.
The fingerprints actually belong to the victim, Mr. Clay Terran.
Later update in the court record. They were Clay's fingerprints in the lighter? Ah, I see. Come to think of it, wasn't it you, Fulbright, who collected the victim's prints?
I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all.
When you took the deceased's fingerprints, you could have easily planted his prints on the lighter with his blood. After which you wiped the blood off his hand. By your own admission, you were also the one who compiled the phony print data. All to put the blame on Miss Sykes. This ploy must have been to distract us from the Phantom who is behind everything. You were to create the impression that the Phantom wasn't the true culprit.
So does this mean Detective Fulbright really is the Phantom?
Mm-hmm. Remember the killer's escape route? No ordinary person would have been fearless enough to attempt it. Nobody but the Phantom, the man with no emotions, could have done it. Detective Fulbright, you were the only one who could have used that escape route. Fulbright, are you really the Phantom? Answer me, or so help me, I will slash you to tiny slivers where you stand.
Alright, I'll tell, okay. I confess. I'm not the Phantom. Silence. It's all over. Now be a man and admit it already.
Oh, Frank. Let's see, Twitch. Let's link it. Twitch. Let's link it.
It's all over. Now be a man and admit it already. But I'm not a spy. I'm an undercover investigator. I've actually been after the Phantom myself. An undercover investigator?
Oh, you're in here already, okay. Tim, my friend Tim was in here earlier, but he left, I think, to go eat and shower, so I'm not sure who else is in here, but yeah, Ben's in this call with me right now. Let's see.
Are you talking to?
Oh, Frank was saying he wanted it compliment my hair. Appreciate it.
An undercover undercover investigator? That sounds less than wholesome to me.
A person who hides his identity and secretly investigates in order to uncover information. And that's what you really are, Fulbright.
That's right. I was working to track down the Phantom, but sadly, even though I was supposed to catch the spy ended up catching me. He took my family hostage and forced me to cooperate with him. What?
Objection! You're telling us this now? But what if what you say is true, then who's the mystery person Miss Blackwell Mr. Starbucks saw?
It was the Phantom, I tell you. All I did was help him by having that emergency ladder lowered for him.
Objection. I don't believe you. Then how do you explain the fabricated lighter?
That was also one of the Phantom's demands. Being the detective in charge of the case, it was easy for me to fabricate evidence. Pinning the crime on Athena Sykes was just another one of the Phantom's orders.
And you expect me to buy that? Fulbright, what was the Phantom's ultimate objective?
I was told it was to sabotage the rocket launch. Someone who didn't want the launch to happen must have given him the order. Actually, I have to apologize to you too. The Phantom told me to get close to you.
Projecting. Live feed. So he sent a buzzard of his own to tail me this past year, did he?
I haven't been a champion of justice. I've just been a pawn of evil. A pawn of the Phantom who stole the moon rock and killed Dr. Sykes 7 years ago.
Enough, Fulbright. Just tell us the Phantom's true identity.
I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He has top secret information for all kinds of corporations and countries. There's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Why, I bet even now. There are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom after all.
With the ceiling blown off, I suppose you are vulnerable to a sniper's shot in this courtroom. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. Hopefully trying to finish this episode in this stream, but I'm not sure if that's plausible. But we'll see. Or possible, I mean. We'll see. Just 2 seconds ago, Fulbright was treating Athena like a criminal. Does he really think he's going to lie his way out of it now? But on the surface, everything does seem to make sense. This could be bad, Mr. Wright, if we can't find a flaw in his logic. He's right. After we've come all this way, we can't let Fulbright wiggle free now.
There. I finally told the truth. Now I hope you see how foolish it was to think I was the Phantom.
Uh-oh. We've never seen him like this.
You're an intelligent man, Prosecutor Blackwell. You believe me, right?
I believe you. I don't think you're the Phantom.
What?
How could you say that, Prosecutor Blackwell? It's obvious he's the Phantom.
Silence.
Evidence is everything, right or no? And you must admit there's no clear evidence that Fulbright is the Phantom.
Yes, I do recall the only solid proof we've seen up to this point is the fact that Detective Fulbright fabricated evidence.
But... I've known Fulbright here for a year now, and all this time he's been quite intent on rehabilitating me. I don't believe his efforts were a lie.
Prosecutor Blackwell!
This fool truly thought he could reform a death row inmate like me. He went so out of his way in his efforts for me, he actually became quite a nuisance, really.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you believe me?
Please tell me Prosecutor Black wasn't really been taken in by this big phony. However, even if it was against your will, you still acted as the Phantom's accomplice. You will have to pay the price for that. Throw yourself at my mercy and don't you ever betray me again. Have you got that? Yes. Thank you. Oh, thank you! Such a fun, such red puberty. In any case, it looks like everything's resolved. I can now hand down a not guilty verdict with confidence. Very good, I'm very glad to hear it. It's all over. Everything's been cleared up, and Miss Sykes will go free as well.
Mr. Wright, we can't let the trial end here. If we do, the Phantom... The man who killed Clay will get away. I know, but... Ugh, what do I do? I don't have any proof that Detective Fulbright's the Phantom. Is this it? Is he going to get away just like that?
Now, if you'll excuse me, my next investigation awaits. And with that, I'm off.
Oh? Hold it. The defense? No, wait, not the defense. The defendant feels it's not time for a verdict yet, and would like to see this trial continue.
What? I was about to declare you innocent of all charges.
It just doesn't feel right to be standing here. Hey, Apollo, think you could scooch over? Eek. Athena, what are you doing? Hope we don't get held in contempt of court. I have some questions for you, Detective Fulbright. Are you relieved that you are no longer under suspicion of being the Phantom? Are you grateful to Prosecutor Blackwell for what he's done for you?
Of course I am, and I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart.
Athena, where are you going with these questions? I have yet to hear a single emotion behind any of Detective Fulbright's words, boss. The suspicion against him has been cleared up, but he's not feeling happy at all. What? Does that mean... We may not have any evidence, but the heart doesn't lie. That's it. With your special ability, we just might be able to stop him. Your Honor, the detective has been deeply traumatized by our accusations.
Yes, well, even before this, I thought he would be a rather odd fellow.
If he doesn't get counseling right away, who knows what might happen to him?
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you believe this denounces the defense spouting? Fulbright, I think you'd better have that counseling. Not you too! You've been making batty remarks ever since you were accused of being the Phantom. Such as, you're an undercover investigator and your family has been taken hostage. I fear you might have finally lost it. But I thought you believed me. Silence. Oh, how you assume me so.
What's going on here? That was an excellent bit of psychological manipulation just now, Simon.
I knew you would catch on, Athena.
Huh? Mind filling me in here? Guess we left you in the dust, huh, Mr. Wright?
Did you finish your mission, Ben?
Simon was only pretending to believe Detective Fulbright, because he knew I'd notice if there was a lack of emotions like joy or relief in his response. So he gave me the chance to take a listen. And listen I did to the voice of Detective Fulbright's heart. What? You two were working together just now?
Come now, Athena. Show us what's inside Fulbright's heart.
You got it. Time to check the instant replay. Widget, mon ami, let's do this.
Okay, let's see. Even with all his over-the-top expressions and gestures, he's registering no emotion at all? It's just like I thought, and right in line with the Phantom psych profile. Uh-oh. Detective Fulbright, this lack of emotion proves the Phantom. Hey, what's going on? Wait, hold it. What do you think you're doing, Detective?
Me? I'm not doing anything.
He's trying to hack into the Moon Matrix program. I can't do anything with any of this.
Ah!
Fancy device you have there, but I'll tolerate no cheating, thank you.
Sorry about that. As an undercover agent, I tend to use my secret arsenal without even thinking.
More like as a spy. Thanks, Prosecutor Blackwell. There. Now that you can't hack me anymore, I dare you to try to hide your lack of emotions from us.
Lack of emotions? What are you talking about? Of course I have feelings. As a matter of fact, you've wounded me very deeply with that accusation.
What's going on? All of a sudden I'm getting an overwhelmingly happy reading. Huh? But he's literally crying us a river over there.
Oops, my mistake. How about this? Yeah!
Yikes, now he's angry all of a sudden? What's he trying to pull?
Like as not, it would appear our friend is not completely without emotion. It's just as it says in Dr. Sykes' profile of the Phantom. The subject has a unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. He can probably just control it extremely well.
Oh, I get it. So he has some emotions, right?
Precisely, which leads me to wonder why you can't sense any emotions from him at all. I believe it's most likely because he is controlling his emotions. Very good, Prosecutor Blackwell, you are correct! It's the result of my daily training. A very important skill for us undercover investigators, you know.
Like for us spies? Seriously.
I wonder why he suddenly showed several strong emotions.
Wait a minute, I think I know. I sense there's a feeling you're trying to hide with your exaggerated emotions. Detective.
A feeling I'm trying to hide? That's a good one. You're the ones who've been saying I'm the Phantom because I don't have any emotions. I was just trying to show you the range of deep emotions I truly possess.
Then you have no objections to me analyzing you, right?
No, analyze away. But I will state it again, I'm not the Phantom. And be forewarned that your analysis will have no effect. Because you're about to see what an undercover agent can really do.
Okay. Alright, this part's always weird. He's like registering with 3... Oh yeah, the emotions are turning on and off at will.
What?
Remember this segment, Ben, when the Phantom's
Oh, it starts.
just turning on and
Naming
off all his
emotions.
emotions? Yeah. Let's see. What the? How are we supposed to pick out what's unnatural from this mess? I don't know what we can do with this either. This must be his defenses against your ability. So you think this is what he meant by what he's really capable of? I hate to know what's going on inside that guy's head. Well, we know he's hiding something, that he feels threatened by Athena. Being only human is true feelings, an emotion he can't completely conceal. Must be hidden somewhere in his testimony, so probably scared or upset in some way. Oh, well, this sadness doesn't go away. Got it! Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, he was saying,
How dare you accuse me of someone who would be willing to kill for a moon rock?
I found it. I found the one emotion you're truly feeling.
What?
Hidden in the middle of that chaotic storm, I saw one emotion that never disappeared. When you talked about the moon rock, you felt a fear that wouldn't fade.
Fear, huh?
A fear that a man with hardly any emotions feels, huh? And it was a response to that moon rock. Detective Fulbright, I presume you feel fear concerning the moon rock because your identity will be revealed. Of course. That's it. Enough, Fulbright. Just tell us the Phantom's true identity.
I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He has top secret information for all kinds of corporations and countries. So there's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Why, I bet even now. There are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom after all.
Detective Fulbright, I think I know why you would feel afraid. You're afraid that the moon rock will somehow reveal your identity. If his identity were revealed, he would be killed immediately. That's certainly enough to make even the Phantom feel afraid.
Me? Afraid? I don't know what you're talking about.
So, there really is something about the moon rock that would reveal his identity? Apparently so. Wait a minute. Maybe the Phantom didn't so much steal the moon rock, more like he had to take it with him. Because there was something on it that would reveal his true identity. What the?
Hold it!
Hold it! Where do you think you're going? Oh, Bright just tried to escape.
Yank? Me? I'm not going anywhere.
Is it just me, or is he going to use that weird watch thing to try to get away? How many more of those toys does he have, and where can I get myself some? Detective Fulbright, you will answer honestly to this court right now. Why do you feel fear in connection with the moon rock?
In justice we trust! Not emotions, Mr. Lawyer. Evidence is everything. I'm the Phantom because I'm afraid? Don't make me laugh. Yank?
Ah! What was that just now? But all human beings have hearts and experience emotions. Sometimes analyzing a case from the psychological perspective is the best way to find the truth. Ah! Eek.
It's all just a waste of time. All your efforts on analysis serve no purpose. And now, in this dark age of the law, nobody would believe your claim that it's effective. In an era when evidence is fabricated, do you truly expect feelings to be accepted as proof? And where exactly is your proof that I fear the moon rock anyway?
Well,
Maybe get to the bullshit part moment.
Not
Yeah.
yet. That's coming up. But we know he has some fear with the moon rock, so that's probably coming up. Well, I admit I don't have any conventional proof, but I still say that examining a person's heart has its merits.
Oh, really? Then why don't you listen carefully with those special ears of yours? Listen to the voices of the hearts of the people in the gallery.
Oh yeah, everyone's like against this or whatever. All I hear is distrust.
As you can see, the people are on my side. Because all they see is a strange little girl using a weird little machine.
But it's not like I use analytical psychology to falsely accuse people. Uh-oh, he's got Athena doubting herself. Miss Sykes' analytical psychology has breathed new life into the courtroom. It has freed the hearts of many witnesses and has been key to getting to the truth.
Ha ha ha! What nonsense! Your Honor, the defense's claim is a false one. I don't feel any kind of fear when it comes to the moon rock. I see. Very well, I will give the opinion of this court. In a trial, I don't feel that a person's emotions are quite as compelling as actual evidences.
But Your Honor...
There, you see?
Oh, hello, Tariq. Good to see you. Hi, Tariq.
Pants.
There, you see? Nobody believes you and your trumped-up charges. However, I do believe Miss Sykes' analyses can contribute to making the truth clear. I have seen her do this firsthand several times already. Surely you jest.
So does this mean you'll accept my findings in this trial, Your Honor?
Yes, I believe your claim, Miss Sykes. I think there is merit in examining why the witness feels fear in regard to the moon rock. That is the court's opinion on this matter.
Then that's a win for me. No, a win for analytical psychology. Now, Mr. Phantom, you will tell this court the reason for your fear.
Analytical psychology? My fears? Fine! I'll show you precisely why those abstract things can't be considered evidence. Uh-oh. What is testimony? My fear of the moon rock. Oh, here we go, Bennett begins. I felt fear when I thought about the moon rock because it reminded me of the Phantom. Yes, I'm very afraid of him because he took my family hostage. What reason would the Phantom have to be afraid of the moon rock? None at all. So the very fact that I'm afraid of the moon rock means I'm not him. In fact, I'm on the side of justice.
Oh god.
And there you have it. Now do you see why I'm afraid of the moon rock? Sure, you sound convincing enough.
But so does any two-bit con artist. It's all meaningless in the absence of evidence. Eek. Bruh, stop trying to swipe at people with that weird, like, watch gadget. Remember when it goes like, yank?
Yeah.
The Phantom is like the mist. No flesh, no bones. My sword alone cannot cut it. Right or no? With your deductive reasoning and the body of evidence before us. Let us send this miserable phantom fellow to the other world together. Are you sleeping well, Tark? Did you get some sleep finally? The other day when we were playing Clash on Sunday, he was like not getting much sleep at all. You and I, Prosecutor Blackwell, we have a duty to bring the Phantom down and restore the people's faith in the courts. Indeed, by covering for Athena, I allowed the Phantom to escape. And as a prosecutor, I gave birth to the people's mistrust with my murder conviction. I bear part of the responsibility as well, for being suspected of forging evidence and losing my attorney's badge as a result. The two of us and the Phantom were there at the beginning of the Dark Age of the Law. Then it is also our burden to cut away the foul spectre we created, is it not? Until all that remains is the righteousness of the court and the faith of the people.
Trust, understanding, fragile ideals of the masses who are controlled by emotion. Humans can't truly trust each other, which is exactly why the illusion of trust is so enticing.
Objection! Once two people overcome their misgivings, that's where real trust is to be found. You're free to believe what you want, but trust like that is stronger than you and your lies, always. Cross the ocean. Well, that was a weird cut. My fear of the moon rock. Here we go.
What reason would the Phantom have to be afraid of the moon rock? None at all.
Hold it. You can't think of a single reason that the Phantom might be afraid of the rock?
I thought the Phantom wasn't even supposed to have any feelings. How could someone like me, with my wealth of emotions, be expected to understand the guy?
The Phantom, a person with very few emotions, would only be afraid of something really big. Like his cover getting blown big. I'm willing to bet that the moon rock has something to do with his identity, but what? Maybe the Phantom's fingerprints are on the rock? But fingerprints can be wiped off. Then maybe he wanted the rock so bad he literally drooled it on it and left his DNA? We're dealing with a spy here, Athena, not a slob. True. But maybe the DNA part isn't too far off. Huh? Something unexpected happened to him during the incident 7 years ago. Oh yeah, he got cut by Athena or stabbed in the hand. I just know I have something that can show why the Phantom was afraid of the moon rock.
I'll just continue with my testimony while you're pondering then, if you don't mind.
So this is where he proved there's something to do with DNA. Yeah.
What reason would the Phantom have to be afraid of the moon rock? None at all.
Where's the moon rock? Oh, we don't have it. I guess the sniper can say, objection! Yeah, there we go. Detective Fulbright, I assume you know what this is.
Of course, that's the knife the Phantom used to kill the Clay Terran.
That's right. And the exact same type of knife Miss Sykes used 7 years ago when she stabbed the Phantom's hand.
Yes, that was discussed earlier, as I recall.
He dodged at first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again.
And this time you got him, didn't you?
I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Miss Sykes then stated that she remembers the culprit bleeding. It's my theory that the culprit's blood got on the moon rock. There we go. And he was afraid that if the blood was analyzed, his true identity would be revealed. That explains why the Phantom had to remove the moon rock from the scene of the crime scene.
You mean if we read the analysis now, we'd know the factories? Yes, I suppose so, but unfortunately, the moon rock in question is missing.
That may be so, but I'm certain I can explain what happened to it in great detail.
You can?
Of course. Not.
You don't actually expect us to believe that, do you? Because you don't fool me.
What this court needs is a bully-free zone.
Ah, the infamous sword of the beguiling bluff. Its edges without compare. Come now, ready it with me, and show us just how finely it cuts. Your Honor, this is an outrage! Oh, I mean, this is an outrage? Gah! Go on, Wright to know.
Let's start with something that's been bothering me for a while. Now, the culprit supposedly removed the moon rock from the lab. But in this video of him, it's nowhere to be seen.
Oh, you're right.
But here's something to consider. What if the Phantom hid the moon rock somewhere at the scene of the crime? 1 second, we'll be back. Also, hello, Frank. Okay, I'm back. Yep, this is the moment. I got some of these really good oatmeal cookie sandwiches with little carrot cake, cream or something in the middle. It's really good. Good thinking, boss. Security was super tight at the Space Center back then.
All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered leaf through those checkpoints.
Does this mean that the moon rock is still somewhere in the Space Center?
In the name of justice, I proclaim that's impossible.
And why is that?
The Space Center was searched from top to bottom, and especially the lab. But the moon rock was never found.
How could I possibly forget about that? A sad but true fact. We still haven't a grasp on how it was done. Good cookie sandwiches things. Yeah, here, you guys can have one. They're very good. I get them at Walmart all the time because they're right at the door. You guys should try them. They look like this. Very, very good. And the cookies are really soft.
But the Phantom made the moon rock vanish into the ether.
There's no way it just disappeared. Logic and evidence tells us otherwise. The Phantom didn't have the moon rock on him when he left the lab. Yet a thorough police search didn't search up anything. It didn't turn up anything, sorry. And it never turned up in the 7 years after that either. The Phantom made the rock disappear without physically removing it by himself. But how? There must have been a way. Think, Phoenix, think. How'd the moon rock vanish in the robotics lab?
So, can you or can you not show what happened to the moon rock, Mr. Wright?
Yes, I can. Your Honor.
What?
Yeah, very good. This part is soft too. It's very squishy.
Oops, sorry, I mean, what? In that case, let's have the answer, Mr. Wright. How did the Phantom make the moon rock disappear from the crime scene?
Well, if we look at the crime scene photo, where is it? Don't we have the... Where is it? No. There's a moon rock in there, isn't it? But... we need a capsule. I mean, like a holder thing, and I think... Yeah. Okay. So this capsule was at the crime scene, then disappeared. 7 years, or I mean, it was launched into space, so that could be a way. Take that!
That's the Hope capsule, right? The one that went up with the Had 1 rocket?
Mm-hmm. He couldn't carry the rock out, but he couldn't leave it in the center to be found either. So there was only one safe place to stash it. The Hope capsule that was there in the lab that day. And that's why he reappeared, because the capsule was just returning to space, to Earth a couple days ago.
Yes. And the team must have loaded it onto the Hope capsule probe eventually. But if that's what happened, the moon rock would have been launched up into space along with the rocket.
Preposterous. I mean, not for these past 7 years, the moon rock was... Exactly. The Phantom got rid of the moon rock in the most cosmic way he knew how. It was out there in the depths of space. Aboard the Hope space probe. What?
Order! Only good!
I understand now. The Phantom's original scheme was to sabotage the Hat One anyway. The villain. He used his primary objective to conveniently kill two birds with one stone. That's right. He planned for the moon rock to be turned into cosmic dust out in space, thereby destroying the one piece of evidence that could reveal his true identity. But Mr. Starbuck and the others foiled the Phantom's plot. The Hope space probe sailed off safely on its mission and returned 7 years later. With the capsule in tow. If we analyze the blood on the moon rock, it should make one thing crystal clear. That you were the Phantom all along, Detective Fulbright. So he killed Clay just so he could get the moon rock back? I believe so. His original assignment may have been just to sabotage the Hat too, but at the same time, he also had to retrieve the evidence of his crime 7 years ago. That's why he went to the boarding lounge and attacked Clay as he made his escape out of the rocket with the capsule. But in the end, it was all he could do just to escape himself, so he didn't get to the capsule. Clay must have done everything he could to stop Fulbright. He probably hung on to that capsule for all it was worth, and he was worth until his very last breath.
Oh, this is so funny. You make me laugh. You really do.
Well, he's totally out of whack now. It's a game over for you, Detective Fulbright. Why don't you just admit it to it all now?
There's nothing to admit. I'm Bobby Fulbright, undercover investigator, I tell you. I am not the Phantom. The blood on the rock is just another one of his schemes. Trap. Now I'm not sure what to think. I suppose if the Phantom is a spy with his salt, a trap is not out of the question.
Objection!
Objection! But in that case, you could say anything is a trap.
That's what makes a trap a trap. I've been framed as taking the blame for the Phantom. Your Honor, I believe further investigations in order.
Silence. Further investigation, more like plotting your escape. But no more. I will bring you to justice myself if I must. Here and now. I guess it's time to show you just what I'm really capable of. Die, Simon Blackwell!
Hey, you guys aren't really...
Hold it! It looks like I made it just in time. Edgeworth! I have good news for you, Mr. Wright. I've uncovered some very crucial facts. Did you find something out about the Phantom's true identity? You might say that. I started by looking into the first people on the scene 7 years ago. All 3, an employee and 2 officers, were registered in the robot's recognition systems, but none of them looked the least a bit like Detective Fulbright. That's not good. But there's more. I've yet to share my most important finding. What?
Timothy making cringe lorded. Repulsion waves. Ouch.
Who is?
Nemesis.
Oh yeah. Isn't that that big thing? They're like the boss thing, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Mr. Wright. Prosecutor Blackwell? You'd best brace yourselves. Uh-oh. The man you see there before you, Bobby Fulbright, is already long dead. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? An unidentified body that was found a year ago has now been proven to possess Bobby Fulbright's fingerprints. Yeah, that was... I remember the first time that was very creepy. Then does this mean... Yes, that man there is an imposter pretending to be Bobby Fulbright. An imposter? Bum 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 bum.
Then this man, who in the world is he?
Enough of your trickery. If you will not reveal yourself to us, then I shall do it for you. Oh, it's this part, Ben. Remember this?
What the? No! His face!
Aw, look what you did to my mask.
Mask? What does he mean, this witness?
Okay, he got me. I guess I have to show you who I really am now. What the? Wait, but that's... Hey, Apollo. Yep, it's me, Solomon Starbuck. Mr. Starbuck, but that can't be right. You can't really be the Phantom, can you? Silence. Of course not. The real Starbuck was aboard the Hat 1, which was set to be destroyed. Yeah, this is another mask. Oh yeah, remember, this is where he goes through his mask thing, where he just lifts off all the masks.
Yeah, he starts spamming masks.
Yeah. I mean, didn't I tell you? I'm an undercover investigator. I can change identity as I will. I could be anyone I want. Objection! Not so fast. I have the Phantom psych profile right here. If we compile a psych profile on you and compare the results, it will prove that you're the Phantom. Objection. More like Mask to Mask. True. Ben, remember Mask to Mask? The frickin'... Actually, you might not remember him. He's kind of like a side character from Trials and Tribulations. It's time for me to show you the real meaning of the phrase, the end justifies the means. That voice... Oh, I was supposed to say that voice. Those words... No, that... I cannot accept such evidence here, Miss Sykes. Professor Means? This mask? I'll take what I want by any means necessary. Now give me that evidence. Yank. Oh, he just stole it. No, bruh. Huh? Yank.
Time to take out the trash. Permanently. How could you? Now do you see how powerful the end justifies the means can be? Silence. How pathetic. You can't even speak without wearing another man's face. Ah, but that's the life of an undercover agent for you. My real face has no meaning or value to me at all. Or perhaps is it really the case that you don't even know who you are anymore?
Oh.
Oh, got him. What must you see when you look in a mirror, Mr. Phantom? Not a lot, I'd wager. Well, aren't you just the master of psychology, Blackwell? That's right, I don't know who I am. I am always living as someone else in my assignments. I don't remember what my face looks like. Or even what my personality was like. My face, memories, personality, beliefs, emotions, and soul. I left them all behind. I have no self. I am no one. I am nothing but an endless abyss. What's with this guy? Is he even still human? And now we resume with your lesson, Professor Wright. Oh, huh? I believe you made this argument earlier. If you were to analyze the blood on the moon rock, you could prove that I am the Phantom. Yeah, I believe there's blood on the moon rock in that capsule. Now that we know you aren't even Bobby Fulbright, your claims of a phantom trap won't work anymore. Then why don't you bring this moon rock in? This decisive evidence from the Hope capsule. I think I'll do just that. Get ready, because the Hope capsule is about to seal your... Fudge!
It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens.
Oh, brr. It looks like you have finally caught on. Full marks for the defense for effort. But what a shame your hope was lost in that courtroom explosion. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. So that's the real reason this courtroom was blown up. It was all for the Phantom to destroy that one piece of evidence. I can't believe it. Have we really reached a dead end after coming all this way? Has the only evidence we have on this guy really been destroyed? How dare you continue to call me the Phantom? As I've said all along, I'm just a nameless undercover agent.
Objection!
Objection! And the defense will continue to assert that you are the Phantom. Furthermore, we have proof. Or at least a prayer. Nice one, Phoenix. One sec, let me read.
I'm afraid that won't do, Mr. Wright.
Oh, you need me to cool you down, Dark? Okay, hold on. There you go. Now you're safe to drink.
At least put some weight behind your swing, right or no?
I know, I'm trying! There's only one thing that it can unmask this menace, the moon rock. But that was blown to bits in the courtroom bombing, and yet... Is it really gone without a trace? What if some tiny part, some little fragment still exists? Yes, and you can see the stolen moon rock there, too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture?
Very well, Mr. Wright, let's see your proof. What evidence will finally prove Phantom's identity?
Any fragment of the moon rock left? Well, we do have the, moon rock earring. Can you can you send him some gifted subs? He might do it for money. True. I'm a sellout. I'm a sellout for money.
I think the only thing we have is the... Oh, no, no, no. There's fragments right here. Take that! Glad I looked at that.
Isn't that the bomb that blew up the courtroom when they rock along with it? Are you saying this will reveal the defendant's identity?
Yes, Your Honor. Focus your attention on this photo taken after the bombing, specifically right here. Take that! And actually, I'm not a sellout, I'm a sell bot, actually.
What's Brad?
Gone with that. Please take a look at this newspaper article.
This article about the Hat one?
Now, please note the strange black and yellow rock there on the left. That's the moon rock. And when we look at this photo of the bomb fragments, see how there is a rock-like object with the same coloration?
Oh my, yes, I see it.
It would seem the moon rock was much more durable than the Phantom thought. If we take a look at all the fragments that the police found, we'll likely find one with blood. And DNA testing on that blood will prove that the witness is indeed the Phantom.
Unbelievable.
But that's impossible. A surprise to be sure. That's one bloody tough rock. Let us have the fragments tested straight away. Oh, and you'll be having a DNA test too, fool Wright.
Bailiff, contact the police department immediately in order to testing.
Tarek says, Ben, stop reading my ARMs. That's true, Ben. You have a notorious history for that.
Yeah, my bad. Can't stop inting the ARM.
Prosecutor Blackburn, what did the test results show?
There was a rock fragment that had blood on it that appeared to be several years old. DNA testing revealed. Well, I'm sure you know full well what it revealed.
They confirmed it was the witness's blood, didn't they?
There's no use in trying to talk your way out of it anymore. Admit it! You are the Phantom!
Objection!
Objection! Uh-oh, here we go. Huh? Mr. Wright, did you just raise an objection to yourself? No, I didn't say a word. That was my objection, Apollo. Huh? Yank. Bro.
Why?
It was a pretty good objection, too, don't you think? Wait. Now he's me?
So, did you have an objection or not, Mr. Wright?
Brah. Huh?
Epic moments.
Oh, no, not really, Your Honor.
No, not you, Mr. Wright. I mean the witness, Mr. Wright.
Bruh. Could this trial get any more insane? Mr. Wright, this fragment of rock in the photograph, and those just like it. How can you be sure they're pieces of the same moon rock that was at the robotics lab? Oh, here we go. There. Ben, you're increasing the ARM MMR too much. Relax. Yeah, Frank's right, Ben. You're too much of an ARM
True.
We're just for fun players. Care to explain what you mean? Well, there may have been a rock or two in the courtroom that had my blood on it. No, brah. But how do you know they're not just rocks? You can't prove that they're the moon rock, right?
Objection!
Objection! Don't be absurd! Just compare the fragment with the rock in the newspaper article. Anybody can see they're the same. They have the exact same coloration.
Objection!
Objection. But maybe some other rock with the same coloration happened to be in the courtroom. It's highly unlikely a rock with such a unique appearance just happened to be here. But you can't deny it's a possibility.
Objection!
Objection! But your blood was found on one of the fragments. Apollo, there's nothing suspicious about my blood being on a piece of rock. And why not? I know it sounds like an excuse, but several years ago, I tripped and fell in this very courtroom and was hurt
There it
pretty
is.
badly. Yeah. Maybe that's how my blood went on its way into a piece of rubble.
Yeah.
Even he must realize how ridiculous that sounds. And yet, I suppose it's not completely out of the question. I see you're starting to sweat, Mr. Wright. I thought that the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. You're the last person I want to hear that from. Well, then, why don't we get those fragments analyzed? We could ask an expert to verify if they were from the moon rock in the robotics lab or not. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that just isn't going to be possible. And why not? In order to prove that the fragments are from what you say they are from, you'd need a sample of the moon rock from 7 years ago to compare it with. But that rock doesn't exist anymore, and there's no sample data left either. So you see, short of going back in time, there's no way to prove that any of the fragments are from that moon rock. Oh no! Except there is, though. Fool. There's really no way to prove it? Are you finally ready to throw in the towel? Objection! So the moon rock doesn't exist anymore, huh? That's right. It was such a valuable rock, too. A shame, really. But it's lost to us forever. He's wrong. It's not completely lost. There's another piece of it right here by our side. A shining fragment of hope that can turn everything around. The final piece of evidence to put this phantom away for good. The defense is a piece of evidence that completely contradicts your claim. You have what now? A final fragment of hope that was passed down with great love and care. We do? We do. Even if the person holding it hasn't realized it yet.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Pay no attention to him, Your Honor. He's just bluffing as usual. I wonder if you'll be able to force your biggest smile when you see what I've got. Try me. The piece of evidence that shows the original moon rock isn't completely lost is this. The earring. Here we go. Take that! Oh, whoops. I was gonna say that. But just about the only things my mother left me are widget. Left me with our widget and this earring. Maybe she did love me in her own way. Athena, you may not know it, but your mother left with you a very important piece of evidence. She did? You're bluffing. You don't have anything of the kind. Oh, but we do. Evidence that will finally corner you, because we have a moon rock of our own. Yeah. You mean... Exactly. A gift Dr. Sykes left her daughter. An item Athena has cherished and worn all these years. As distant as Dr. Sykes may have seemed to her daughter, that fragment of her love will shake off the darkness of the past and give us all hope for the future. This is a defensive sample of the moon rock. Take that!
That's your sample?
This earring that Miss Sykes always wears was made from that original moon rock.
What? All this time? It was worth you along?
No. It can't be. If the composition of the bombed fragments in the earring are found to be a match, then it will prove beyond the shadow of a doubt the origin of the fragment in this photo. And since the test results showed that the blood on the fragments was yours, this means that the identity you tried so hard to hide will finally be revealed. The identity I tried to hide? I don't have any identity to hide. I may not have Athena's ears, but now, even I can hear the fear in your voice. Fear? I don't feel fear. I left out all of my emotions behind years ago. Objection! Every human being feels fear. You simply can't face the emotions inside you. You can't face them because you have nothing. No love, no trust. And I suppose you do.
I didn't have anybody to support me at first either. I couldn't face the fear inside me, couldn't get over the trauma of my past. Like I said, I don't feel fear. Objection! Then you're just a coward for running away from yourself. When I had my doubts about Miss Sykes, I felt like I would collapse under the weight. But I wanted to trust her. And I knew I could trust Mr. Wright to uncover the truth. That's why I was able to face my suspicions without hesitation. Running away from myself? How can I run from myself when there's nothing inside? Nothing at all.
Objection!
Objection! I know it's hard for someone as unwilling to trust others as you to understand, but people have emotions. Just a fact of life, and so, people can be weak at times. But that's exactly why people need to trust one another. So they can gain the strength to face themselves when things are at their weakest. Without trust in others, how can you ever hope to face your fears? The fear inside of me. Is this... No. Ah! Oh god, I do not like this part. With the animation, the animation looks so weird with his eyes. I'm afraid now, I'm scared. I feel fear! You can't outrun yourself. Remove that mask and unleash your emotions. Confront your guilt head on. With your own true face. Oh god, this part. My own true face. No, no, please don't. I know you're here. Where are you? See? I haven't revealed anything yet. Honest. My own true face. I don't have one. My face freeze. Oh god. Is this my face? Is it? No, that's not it. No! This isn't me either. Is this me? Which one is my face? What am I? Who am I? Yeah. I like the headcanon that this was, Shelly the Killer.
A sniper attacked this very courtroom. It chills me to my bones. But the police are doing everything they can to track down these snipers as we speak. Prosecutor Blackwell, how is Detective Fulbright? I mean, is an imposter doing?
He's a lucky fellow. The bullet didn't hit any vital organs. He appears to be in no danger of dying.
Well, that was fortunate for all of us.
The analysis of that final piece of evidence Wright donor submitted is in. The composition of Miss Sykes' earring and the fragment with the blood on it match. We can now be certain that it is a fragment of the moon rock in question. The murders and bombings at the Space Center, both past and present. I know, right? I like that theory a lot. I just wonder who would have hired him to kill the Phantom then. Maybe a government or something? The bombing of courtroom number 4 and all of his other crimes, as numerous as the stars, are under suspicion of all of these things. The spy known as the Phantom has been incarcerated. The prosecutor's office is now responsible for his well-being. I hope when they make a new one that they bring back Shelly the Killer would be fun. I hope they bring back Franziska, especially, and Dick Gumshoe and stuff. That'd probably be for a new Edgeworth game. They'd bring them back. There are still a myriad of things we wish him to tell us about, after all.
Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwood. Well, it's time to finally bring this trial to an end. But before I do, will the defendant please return to her proper place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh god, fly.
Now then, this court finds the defendant, Athena Sykes, not guilty.
Woo, let's go. I know, we haven't seen Francisca since 2011. Oh, Jesus. It's over a decade ago. Same with Gumshoe, I think. It's kind of saddening. And K. Faraday. Oh, the Little Thief would be so interesting in 3D.
Court is adjourned.
There we go. I didn't think we were going to be able to get through this case today, but we did. December 20th, 9:12 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number, I think it's 5. Yeah, 5.
Congratulations, Mr. Nick.
Thank you, Pearls, and thank you for being there for Athena.
It's the least I could do. But Athena was great, wasn't she? She was so strong throughout the whole trial. Daddy, I'm so glad to see you.
Trucy, are you alright? Are you hurt?
I'm fine, Daddy. I was doing magic tricks to the other hostages to keep our spirits up.
That's our Trucy for you. I'm really glad to see you're safe. Right. I feel I owe you yet another debt of gratitude. Oh, Ben, remember that scene where it's like, Phoenix has to present the token of appreciation or whatever, their collaboration to Edgeworth? No, that's not it. Edgeworth.
Yeah.
We never would have caught him if it weren't for all of you. Oh, come on, Edgeworth, what are you talking about? You're the ones who've been tracking the Phantom all this time. Plus, you're the one who gave Blackwell permission to serve as prosecutor, right? Yes, well, we knew the Phantom was somewhere nearby. The police and I were trying to find him, but we never did manage to do so until this trial. Well, we never would have won this trial without you. It was your help as chief prosecutor that was the key to its successful conclusion. True. I did put a little too much effort into that. Let's say I got practice, you know, go with that. Besides, it was you that saw it too. I got my attorney's badge back, wasn't it? That's what I was about to say too, yeah. So you figured it out, did you? Yeah, getting my license back went just a little too smoothly, you know? It should have been much harder after that evidence forging scandal. Well, I owed you a few favors. Edgeworth, think we can finally bring the Dark Age of the Law to an end? Even the darkest night turns to dawn eventually. Our sun will rise again. Besides, now that Prosecutor Blackwell has been cleared of all charges, a great deal of the mistrust towards the court system should have been swept away. And now that people, like the gallery was able to see, whatever, that guy was the Phantom, they believe us now. I'm not sus. You know, you could have said that with a bigger smile. It's worth it. Won't kill you. Instead, the furrows on that brow of yours just keep getting deeper and deeper. So I should smile more, huh? I'll think about it.
The complicated love-hate relationship between lifelong rivals.
Athena. I'm forever in your debt. You went to all that trouble, even taking the bar exam while you were overseas.
Well, I knew that if I didn't get your sentence overturned fast, you'd be executed. So I studied and studied. I was frantic. I'm so glad I made it in time. Just barely. But I still made it.
That a girl, Athena. It's good to see you finally let your tears out. Yes, I survived by the skin of my teeth thanks to you.
Shame on you, Simon, for trying to throw your life away like that.
It was never my intention to just throw my life away. But some things in this world are more important than your own life.
Like what?
My honor-bound duty to protect my life. My mentor's most beloved treasure.
Huh?
That's some loyalty. This guy really is a samurai through and through. Well, it looks like we can breathe easy now. Apollo, Athena, thank you both. It took all of us together to pull it off.
You bet, boss. What a team we are, huh?
It was definitely the most amazing turnabout I've ever seen. I'm a lucky guy. My office has the best, most capable lawyers around. Thanks, Mr. Wright. I'm going to work extra hard to make up for all the worry I caused. Apollo Justice is fine and ready to go. Let's hear it for the Wright Anything Agency.
Well, nobody's going to try harder than me, so you'd better watch out, Apollo. Simon is free thanks to Mr. Wright, but there are so many more people out there who need our help.
You're right, and I'll be needing you both to help them. We still have a long way to go. Is it the ending cutscene now? I want to see the cutscene. Get ready, you two. We won a major victory, but the war is far from over. There are still people out there out there suffering under false charges who need defending. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. If we ever hope to fully bring the Dark Age of the Law to a close.
Hey, I know what the one thing we have to do. We have to celebrate with a bowl of piping hot noodles.
Huh? Nothing like a bowl of Elden's noodles after a trial, all on Mr. Wright's tab. At least it's probably the least expensive and least like chaotic thing that they've forced him to do at the end of a game. That's how it works at the Wright Anything Agency, right, Mr. Wright? Huh? As a boss, it's your duty to express gratitude to your people for their great work. In that case, allow me to join in the festivities. I would greatly welcome a bowl of noodles. Huh?
I have an idea, Daddy. Why don't you just invite everybody involved in the case? The more the merrier, right? Oh, Mr. Nick, look how far you've come. Who knew you'd grow up to be such a generous gentleman?
Okay, now.
Yeah. Guys? Under these circumstances, there's only one thing I can say. Only if I get to join in.
Hey, no fair! I want to say it too!
Okay, here we go. Objection! There we go. Let's go, we finished it. Yeah, because in the second game, they paid for like a lavish meal and then the $2,000. Oh yeah,
I was trying to think of something nice I could do for Polly now that he's back. So I decided to go around and get a bunch of jobs for him to do. Find a lost cat, install an air conditioner, give him a computer lesson, and then the rest. Or, you think I should have assigned him a legal case? Nah, that's okay. This is the Wright Anything Agency after all.
Ew. Clean the toilets, etc.
Athena and Apollo were so wonderful in court. I'd better study as much as I can if I want to be a judge someday. My grandma says, eat lots of peppers and they'll ignite your passion. Oh, but I should figure out which to grow, green peppers or yellow peppers. Or maybe I should go with the hot as the sun red peppers instead.
Sus. She's literally simping for Apollo.
What?
Yeah, that girl simps for Apollo.
Yes.
He's kind of handsome. I mean,
The end of the Dark Age of the Law, you
No, bruh.
How naive. Don't you know it's sometimes necessary to get a guilty verdict by any means possible? What? They're putting me under investigation? The chief prosecutor wants to see me. Hey!
he is, bro. You got me. He's probably an 8.
Of course, it's immediately robots. Awesome.
I've been asked to debut the great master wrestler Ten Matero.
He's scheduled to go up against the Amazing Nine Tails next, though.
Oh, what to do? A fight to the finish myself?
Why don't you ask Mr. Demon Lawyer to the Amazing Nine Tails about it?
That's not a bad idea. I bet he'd fall for it.
Caw, caw, caw! So we meet again as foes, mortal.
God, it goes like too fast. Catch everything.
Would you believe it? I'm Alderman of the Nine Tails Vale now. Pretty impressive, yeah? I took over Rex Kyubi for the good of the beloved village. What do you say? Would you like to make a little donation to help us out?
Hey, what do you think you're doing singing to the manor?
To check us out, better make a run for it! Baby.
Being pain is suffering, yeah. Being any lineage of pain.
I thought I wanted to be an artist, but after seeing this amazing job Athena did, I started becoming genuinely interested in law, so now I'm studying for the bar exam. I'm going to prosecute Athena someday. You'll see.
I'm studying my buns off too, but not for the bar exam. I'm going to pass the Themis entrance exam for my own merit this time.
Good for you, dude. With a score of 100 points, of course. Hugh, Juniper, our dream will live on forever!
What?
I know. I found really sweet boxes for all 3 of them. They don't want to wear them. Is it because I want to be a legal journalist, have a lawyer, a judge? But anyway, thanks to Charlie's school newspaper's featured as bright as can be. Now let's see what the fresh blood have to say about it. Our editor cried so hard at graduation rehearsal, her cardboard box was soggy. Ew.
That's a lot of robots.
The one night only reading concert, I still remember that night
nice.
well. The presently student council sang like no high school student I ever heard. When she's a judge in her own court someday, I'd love to have a jam session with her. It'd be like the coolest trial ever, yeah. I can already hear it now.
Stop it.
No.
Face bomb, stop.
I gave this
Oh,
place a good
face
clean from top
bombs.
to bottom. But it's already a mess again. I guess the only thing I can do now is clean up the attitudes of the people in this office. With Mystic Maya due to come here once her training is over, it simply must be done.
Humanity's dreams run in space. In fact, I'm planning to have 3 rocket. Look upon me, people's great nation, and welcome the glory of Yuri Cosmos. What do you...
Look.
Oh, director. Yes, rocket preparations are fully complete, yes. You just leave everything to me. Assistant Director Yuri Cosmos.
Assistant Director?
He sounds
Oh.
I know, Clavier is also very attractive. I ship them him and a ball. I'm going to the new moon rocket. If Athena and Mommy Metis were in the room, but which is more interesting, Montes Pyrenus or Mare Tranquillitatis? You think that they would like either one? Yay, hooray! I wonder how Miss Aura is doing.
Ouch.
I'd rather be near Miss Aura than on the moon.
Ouch.
Oh, Miss Aura, I just want you to use me again like you used to. It's kind of sad. Ready for launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! I'm going to the moon for real this time, for me and for Clay. Thanks to my lawyers, I know I should never give up. But I'm worried. You can't breathe in outer space, and in fact, it's cold as heck. Oh man, now I'm getting really nervous. No, I am not employed here. I simply came to request their services in defense of my sister. But no one's around, and I've been kept waiting for a long time. And what sort of case brings you here? Oh, your father was accused and you wish for Athena to defend him? Then perhaps he and I shall meet in a courtroom in the near future. Oh yeah, localization director is Janet Sue, who's also the voice actor for Francis Von Karma, I believe. The English and French versions, I think. I look forward to your next month's salary assessment. Please forgive me. Ugh. Blackwell's acquittal has brought all manner of ills in the prosecutor's office tonight. It would seem that solving that case has thawed the chill of winter and the warmth of spring. Now, right, there's another debt of gratitude. But I will repay him one day. You can trust in that. I believe there's one more cutscene. What's bones? Might be an animation term.
What?
Bones must be an animation term, I think.
Yeah, it is. quick. I think it's the manipulable, the parts that are big that you can move around.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah, because it gives structure.
Or something like that. I'm not qualified to speak on them. It's like an arm or leg. Ouch, ouch. Finish up the stream, bruh.
Yeah, almost. I just last cutscene needed to go off and I'll say wrap up, say goodbye and stuff. And this will be
That's level 50.
level 50, like play level or class level?
Play level almost level 50. Level 49. It's
Did the
pretty
class
huge.
levels go faster? I can't remember.
So what?
Hmm. Yep, here we go. Yep, the launch.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be
T-minus
fine.
15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Mr. Starbuck!
You'll be fine. Just believe in yourself.
The moon's closer than you think!
Thanks, guys. I wouldn't have made it back into space if it wasn't for you.
What?
All right.
Rejoicing. Almost. I think this game, yeah, this game in particular would translate very well. I think it's very centered around relationships. Plus, there's a couple cutscenes in this game that literally just give me anime vibes, like directly. Through the years, I've seen as much joy as heartache, and honestly, but just as Mr. Starbuck was able to escape the harsh pull of his fears and despair, I believe that hope and friendship can lift us all up towards a brighter future tomorrow. And there we go. Oh, I'm so glad we got this one done. So we can go on to the next one eventually. Way into the future probably, but yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, exit now, yes. And we'll be back with Toontown next time with Gray. Probably some corporate clash or something, so. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you Tark and Frank in particular, and we'll catch you guys later. See you guys.